At Life Labs, where science meets unmatched comfort, we combine revolutionary textile innovation with advanced material science to redefine human performance and everyday well-being. Our thermal regulation technologies are born from Nobel-caliber research, delivering scientifically proven comfort solutions. 2 breakthrough technologies, 1 perfect balance. Life Labs pioneers both sides of thermal comfort with our proprietary systems, Warm Life technology, intelligent temperature regulation and body heat retention for lightweight, uncompromising worth with optimal breathability, and Cool Life technology, continuous cooling when you need it the most. Engineered to work together or stand alone, these technologies adapt to any environment. Our patented technologies integrate invisibly into fabrics, offering durable, high-performance comfort without sacrificing style or functionality. And attention designers, product managers, and visionary brands, the future of performance wear is here. Why wait? Want to discuss how to integrate Warm Life and Cool Life technologies into your next product line? Contact our team today for partnership opportunities, licensing options, or custom development projects. Together, let's create the next generation of intelligent apparel. Check us out at lifelabs.design. Life Labs, the future of feel-good performance.
Rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight.
Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin, and joining me today are my fellow founders of the Patagonia Haters Club. It's Eoin Comerford and producer Dave.
Dude. Oh, come on now. I am a Patagonia lover. I just expect more.
I think we are all Patagonia lovers, but we've gotten some specific feedback that we're going to get into later this week to address that thinks otherwise, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Notice Dave has not said that he is a Patagonia lover, so maybe he's the one.
I did not. I said nothing of. I can neither confirm or deny. No, that's crazy talk. Who would say that? What kind of monster are you?
You know who Antifa would. That's who would say
there you
it.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably in one of those frog costumes, too.
Well, we have a lot of outdoor industry news to get to today, including financial headlines, some more trade show news. We are going to respond to the aforementioned listener comment about outdoors' most notable brand. But first, here is what is on tap for the Rock Fight Podcast Network. When this episode airs, we'll all be in Kansas City at GOA Connect. So come back to the Rock Fight on Friday, where Eoin and I are going to break down the things we saw at GOA's Discovery Marketplace.
No. By the way, if you are at GOA Connect, we have a booth right on the floor, right next to the registration area. So swing on by, say hi. Maybe not if we're recording an interview, but maybe wave in that case. But otherwise, we'd love to see everybody.
This Thursday, you're going to get an all new episode of Gear Abby with host Shantae Salabert, who, Gear Abby, she answers all your burning outdoor questions. So make sure you subscribe and follow Gear Abby on that podcast feed as well. Dave, I want to ask if you want to get more, how if our listeners want to get more from the Rock Fight, what should they do? But there hasn't been a lot of more lately happening.
No, there hasn't, Colin. I'm very disappointed. But the question is, do you want more from the Rock Fight?
Just more for me.
And if you did, I would subscribe to News from the Front, our semi-weekly newsletter, which you can find over at rockfight.co and sign up today.
Well, Eoin, while people are waiting for the newsletter, whenever it may come, if they want to hear from us, maybe tell us how they want the newsletter. What should they do?
Well, they should absolutely email us at myrockfight@gmail.com. We read all of them. Usually, Colin is complaining about what comes in and is making fun of what people say mostly. But, actually some of it is very thought provoking and we appreciate it. So we'd definitely love to hear from people. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn, just search up Rock Fight, or on Instagram where we are Rock Fight Co, all one word.
All right. Well, I'm not going to complain about the first topic today. We're kicking things off with a bunch of industry financial updates, starting with VF's up and down.
Hold it, Colin. I'm gonna start the clock. Keep you guys on point here with all these financials. It's real easy to get into these rabbit
There was
holes.
a lot.
Right.
We had a lot of financials.
Right. I know.
Week.
When we start extrapolating out and correlating this. So keep to it.
The ones we're going to talk about, I feel like there is a lot that can be extrapolated about the industry. So VF, right? They've had a Q2 up and down Q2 and Q3 results per SGB. VF was down for Q2, but ahead of its guidance. While for Q3, they were down and below their guidance. Regarding the results for Q2, VF CEO Bracken Darrell, which for my money is still the most, the uncontested best name in the outdoor industry.
I don't know.
Patrick,
I guess he took over from Patrick O'Winter, who was the CEO.
That is an amazing run there.
Yes.
When you said that, Colin, I was like, he either wins the zombie apocalypse at like being the last one standing, or he's got like I don't know, a live appearance with Billy Strings or something. You know what I mean? He's going to play the mandolin or something, just fantastic.
Well, Bracken had this to say. He said, in Q2, we made further progress on our turnaround plan. We delivered broad-based growth for the North Face and Timberland while continuing to moderate declines in Vans. We also announced the pending sale of Dickies for $600 million, enhanced our capacity to invest in the portfolio and drive shareholder returns. So, Eoin, can you read the tea leaves for us here? Like, what are your take on these results for VF?
I guess let's start with the market's reaction, which was woof. They were actually, they're down 18% as of recording on Friday since they announced these results. So not great. But really, That's more a reflection of the negative guidance for their Q3, which is calendar Q4, right? Because they're saying they're going to be down kind of 1 to 3%. So the analysts didn't love that, as you might expect. And so they kind of got dinged there. From my perspective, I actually thought it was a good result. Again, they're showing that they've got a good foundation. Their return to growth with North Face and Timberland, two of their biggest brands. The declines at Vans still double digits, but only quote unquote minus 11%. But that's versus minus 18, 20, 25% the last number of quarters. So hopefully we're kind of starting to see the bottom there. And I agree that getting Dickies out of the way helps, because Dickies was also bleeding and requiring management attention, et cetera. So now not only is that sort of distraction out of the way, now they've got a portfolio that's much more focused purely on really outdoor lifestyle, and they can also have a little bit more liquidity to address things that work. So personally, I'm with you, Colin. I think in our last episode or the episode before, where you said you had VF as a buy, I would agree. I think the things are looking up for the corp.
I've got a ton of VF stock. I'm hoarding it. Going to cash out soon. It's coming. I can feel it coming.
Okay.
But yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, VF, like we talk about REI as a trendsetter for the industry and like what we can learn from them as applies to the broader industry. I think VF, for all the names you mentioned and the size and the impact that VF has, similar, right? So what can we glean from this news as it pertains to the broader industry sitting here October 2025?
I do think that the negative guidance for Q3, it's really a reaction to what we've been saying on this pod, which is things don't look great. And this is, I think, the VF folks being realistic and saying, hey, things don't look great. So, right. And it's especially in their home market, right? In Q2, the Americas were down 1%, whereas EMEA was up 6%. So, and this is just another example of one of these large, multinational, sport/outdoor brands that are seeing much lower comps in the US than they are in Europe or Asia. So, I mean, Adidas, HOKA, which we're about to talk about, Yeti, On, Columbia, Lululemon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Same story. The US is tough. Rest of the world, not so bad. But so I ask you, Colin, what do you think? What could be different about the US market versus the rest of the world?
You're not referring to our leadership, are you?
No. It couldn't be. Couldn't be. No, couldn't be the tariffs. It couldn't be.
He's launching nukes and brokering peace deals. Like, what could be bad about what's going on right now?
Yeah. No. That clearly can't be it. So I'm flummoxed. I'm not sure what it could be.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we know it's not gonna, this trend probably not going to change for a while. As we're talking about VF, though, hey, Dave, we're still waiting for signs that Vans is back. They're down a little. They're saying, hey, it's moderating. What should Vans be doing, though, while they're in this trend? We never really talk about that. We're like, oh, they're down, but they're going to come back. You're like, what could a brand be do right now, sitting in that position while they're waiting for the trend to return? And we know it's going to come back at some point.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think they've already started to see kind of signs of the trend returning. Some of the, like in fall, the 26 kind of fashion brands, Dior and Prada, started using kind of like skate silhouettes on footwear. So that's just a kind of a glimpse into maybe where things will go to bring that kind of core vulcanized Vans look back, but Vans's issues are way beyond just the ebb and flow of that look. I mean, it's I think the vulcanized is more like the t-shirt or the cap or the denim, right? It's a part of the youth culture's closet. Their issues are more about overextension, right? They just got themselves out, market saturation, playing way at the low end. They stopped marketing for all intent and purpose to kind of the core youth market. That's just kind of getting away from your roots, and so many brands drift, chasing those extension dollars. And I think that's just a classic case of that. So if they get that back together, which I have no doubt they're going to, they're pretty clear, and kind of stories I've read about it, that they understand that those are some of the things they need to get back, get their voice back. But if they kind of do that, and then you start to see also too these ebbs and flows as big, chunky, comfy goes away a bit and brings back this thin, flat, and uncomfortable, which is the they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is that they brought in Sun Cho as the brand president. It's been June of 2024. So I mean, based upon kind of product development life cycles within our industry, we're only just now starting to see the impact that she is going to have on the brand, which I think is going to be good. I mean, she brings an amazing pedigree. So I think hopefully we'll start to see that really hit in spring.
So next up, also per SGB, HOKA has continued to drive the business for Deckers as new styles have fueled continued growth. But Deckers is now tempering their expectations for what has been the hottest brand in the hottest category. Deckers president and CEO Stefano Corote had this to say, quote, "We probably have massed few too many big product launches in the first half of the year and didn't space them out enough." Owen, are we at the beginning of the long-anticipated HOKA slowdown? Perhaps maybe that, or maybe Deckers is just sandbagging here.
No, we're there. In fact, it's already here. If you look at it, it's already happened in their core U.S. market. HOKA has actually been flat to down the last 2 quarters in the U.S. market, while international has been ripping 30-40% up, right? So that's what's really propped up HOKA. So, you look at that and you're like, oh, shit, it's already here. But part of that, I think, is market saturation, obviously, here in the U.S. market. And we see that with some other brands, too, like Lululemon as an example. But part of it is also, obviously, the tariff headwinds, et cetera. So, but yeah, I would say they're a little concerned right now that the golden goose is going to stop laying the eggs.
Well, interesting there. To that point exactly, the article also cites that HOKA has picked up 2 points of market share in the U.S. on the road running category. I agree. Obviously, the numbers are showing that it is slowing down, but is that a sign that HOKA has some more room to grow, given that they've been largely considered a trail brand for a long time?
I honestly don't know, because I'm not sure how they define the road running category. If it's truly those road running specific styles that are sold at Run Specialty, well, that's actually a shrinking, as we know, that's actually a shrinking segment right now, and is a relatively small piece of the pie, because really what's driving HOKA and really the wider run business is actually the casualization of run and people wearing run type product like HOKA for walking around the place.
Dave, I think historically this is where when brands have a rocket ship of a product or just the brand in general, and they reach this point where they start to see some slowdowns, this is when they start to look at adjacent categories and doing other things. Now, a lot of people may not realize that HOKA does make apparel. I think they've smartly kept the line mostly to basics. If you look at it, it's very basic running, tops, bottoms, but not a huge range. Do you think that might be the next opportunity for the brand? I mean, in 5 years, will they be up there with the other big athletic brands? Or do you think it'll be more of an Under Armour situation and they should probably just stay a little bit more focused on running shoes?
Well, I think it's an inevitable growth of evolution. That's going to happen. So just taking that, it's not like they haven't played around it. I think they're smart to stay in the basics. I think the product's a good reflection of their design ethos, which seems to be kind of comfort and color palette. Frankly, that's just kind of what they're bringing to it. And it, to me, feels like the footwear and like an extension. They do some kind of, let's call it technical or technical crossing, like, using Tencel blends, recycled contents that kind of marry some of the shoe discussions. But to really play in the, the performance piece of that's always going to be top of the pyramid. And so it's never going to really bring the financial results. It's going to be if they decide to get more serious about that side of their business, which, obviously they're going to stay in the footwear. That said, I do know a couple years ago, they were engaging some of the design development boutique firms that are in our industry that do a lot of the design innovation for apparel and for footwear brands. And they were playing in real kind of an R&D kind of sampling, small batch samples that I got to see. These weren't for public consumption, but they were really cool, right? Shapes and lines and the silhouettes and, but like every brand that size, it seems that they didn't take those to market, but then just put out some more antique olive or violet bloom colored leisure wear. But so they're capable of it, and I know they're thinking about it, so it'd be interesting to see where they go.
All right, last bit of results-oriented news that came out on Friday. Also, and per SGB, big week for SGB here on the Rock Fight
SGB
too.
Basically is our source of all these. I mean, we could have picked 15 other, places that
just crushing it out there with the news. And this one came in as like we were preparing this episode. Yeah. So this is around Newell's outdoor and rec segment, which includes brands like Marmot and Coleman, which posted lower than expected losses and predicted a return to profitability in 2026, while Phoenix, owner of brands like Royal Robinson and Fjallraven, full disclosure, both of whom sponsor the Rock Fight, but I just had to mention it, but posted their first positive quarter since 2023. So, Eoin, is this actually just a sign of things to come?
No, actually, I would say. So first of all, it is great news to see that Newell's outdoor segment, that the losses and the growth or the drops in revenue have really leveled off, especially at Coleman, because the overall comp there was basically minus 1% versus minus 11% in Q2. So we're kind of flattening out. I thought the really interesting piece here, though, was that the CEO talked about the reason why things have turned around there. It's not because of some glitzy marketing campaign. It's not because of yet another round of cost cutting. It's because of new product introductions and innovation. And he specifically actually talked about the Coleman Pro Coolers. And so the Coleman Pro Coolers are basically their Yeti competitor. So if you think of like the vast majority of Coleman's coolers, right, they're like $30-$40, right? That's kind of what you do for it. These are $200 coolers, okay? So much more expensive than the core, but much less expensive than the comparable Yeti product. And so that's been a runaway hit for them. And so really, the aha moment for them is it's not about inexpensive, it's about a good value. And they are embracing that as a company. And so they're bullish for 26, not because of necessarily reading the tea leaves with the industry or this or that, because they are really excited about their product innovation pipeline. And they really think that they can double down with this kind of product, which I think is great.
What about Phoenix? What's going on over there?
Phoenix, it's really muddled, quite frankly, because there's acquisitions involved. There's movement of deliveries for wholesale orders between quarters. So it's not as clean to say, oh, everything is amazing. I thought the really interesting piece of that release was more around how Martin Norden, who is the CEO of the Phoenix Group, has been one of the people who's been more out front in talking about the fact that retailers are cutting back their preseason orders and pushing more of that risk onto the brands. And so what he was saying here, which is interesting, is they're actually embracing that. They're going to say, okay, we get it. We understand that if we're going to need to grow, we're going to have to take on more risk now as a brand. But to be able to do that, we're going to actually address our supply chain and get to a much more agile supply chain to mitigate that risk for us, i.e., so we can bring stuff in more on an as-needed basis versus, committing to everything, 6 to 12 months in advance.
Gee, wasn't there someone on this podcast who talked about having a more agile supply chain and how it could benefit, everyone? And then, by the way, which was Eoin, just credit where credit is due. Also, and just, I think we've mentioned before in talking with a lot of reps and folks out there who are, responding more to brands who have a more robust ATS opportunity. Just, pre-seasons are great. And if there's products that really require it in terms of pre-booking and all that kind of stuff with new products, but brands that seem to have a lot of flexibility on that front, retailers are appreciating that, I guess, is the so what here.
Exactly. And that's what you're going to see, because realistically, an extra 2% discount on a preseason isn't worth the risk in the current environment to most retailers. They would much rather be able to chase. And so brands are just going to have to be able to handle that with their supply chain and be much more agile about, obviously they need to know what they're going to bring at the beginning of the season, but be really agile about what they're going to bring in maybe at the middle of the season.
Dave, speaking of Newell, we got to mention that we just hit the 1-year anniversary where we used Marmot as the perfect example of a zombie brand. And so if things keep going in a good direction there, and it sounds like there's some positivity on that front, when are we obligated to lift that moniker? I mean, how many consecutive positive quarters do they need to post before we say, okay, you're not a zombie brand anymore?
We might already be there at some point, Colin. Like a typical zombie, is a mindless reanimated corpse, and just kind of ambling around. But I think that what the term now is, I think Marmot has moved into what's called a revenant. Okay. A revenant is they have some semblance of their former self. They're not completely divorced of that. They have their former identity, but they're driven by a specific purpose, oftentimes seeking revenge for wrongs done to them in life. Whoa. So I think that they, still decayed, but they are more self-aware and directed than the standard zombie. So I think we've seen some real movement.
So basically, watch out, other outdoor brands. The Revenant is coming for you.
The Revenant is coming for you. That's right. Yes. That's right.
All right, let's take a break and hear from some of our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to hit up a few more headlines, get into the lightning round, and then wrap up with our parting shot. This one is for all the gear makers out there. The biggest barrier for killer new products is sourcing the right fabrics. Working with mills is a pain, and too often you get stuck with whatever sort of fits. What if we told you there's a partner who works with you to design, source, and curate fabrics and enhance your product line? Dave, what if I told you that?
I'd be waiting with bated breath.
Wait no more, because that partner is Ripstop by the Roll. Ripstop by the Roll is your one-stop shop for the perfect fabric solution to your next hit piece of gear. These guys handle the headaches and will work with you to develop or find the right solution from yarn to finished fabric, and it will fit your design. They have the application experts and production partners that make your job easy. From cottage companies at Garage Grown Gear to 8-figure brands at REI, they've been around and they know what they're doing. Ripstop by the Roll simply wants to help you build the best products. Are you looking to source globally? They can do that. Want to find something domestically? They got you there. Are you ready to learn more? Head to ripstopbytheroll.com to connect today. Hey guys, winter's unpredictable, right? It's mild one week, it's freezing the next. Like, I grew up in the Mid-Atlantic and every inch of snow was exciting until it melted into a soupy mess, and then to make things worse, it would refreeze on the driveway, making it impossible to walk across. Going outside, even in those cases, became its own adventure. And that includes choosing what to wear. And that's why people have trusted Fjallraven jackets for more than 50 years, which is also the equivalent of one Colin, by the way. 50 years. Born and tested in Sweden, they are made to handle everything from everyday cold to true Arctic extremes. The philosophy is simple: build outerwear that performs, protects, and lasts. I mean, Owen, you're coming up on Fjallraven season in Michigan, right? We're right around the corner here. We're in November.
I'm wearing Fjallraven right now. I've got a buffalo plaid wool shirt as part of my Halloween classic old fart outdoorsy guy costume.
Outdoor guy.
There we go. There we go.
Well, if you want to add to that, you got the Keb GTX jacket, the Expedition Pack Down hoodie. Oh, and you'll definitely find something to suit winter conditions you know are on the way for your neck of the woods, and go with that shirt. Want to see for yourself? Check out fjallraven.com. Hey, Dave, do you know that as the air cools and the trail beckons, Lems is ready to move with you?
I do know that, Colin.
Yeah. They're ready, anytime you want to move, you want to pack up a house, you want to, pack your car and go somewhere, they're going to move with you. So dropping in early November, the Lems' fall lineup expands with the Trail Thrasher and Trailblazer Mid, designed to grip the earth beneath your feet and carry you confidently through changing terrain. Pair that with the classic Boulder Boot and Navy Stout. That's a color, guys. Navy Stout.
I like that.
They have bold Chelsea boot, tough colorways, and a new insulated Breck boot made for snowy escapes. Man, you got everything you need for them for the season ahead. So head to lemshoes.com where you can see everything that Lems has to offer, because Lems, it's where less equals more. Guys, we all know that the Rock Fight is the voice of the outdoor industry, and as such, I'd like to introduce a new brand just hitting the outdoor scene. Everyone, please meet Travoka.
Hey.
Travoka empowers outdoor enthusiasts and adventurers with elegantly rugged products that enhance every journey from the backcountry to the backyard. With a lineup of gorgeously designed e-coolers, power stations, and camp kitchen products, Travoka crafts premium outdoor gear that empowers you to bring the amenities of home without compromising on style or performance. We got to see the Travoka stuff at the Outdoor Market Alliance.
I know, mate. Lovely stuff. I mean, this is, a lot of like wood accents or aluminum pieces, not your kind of industrial, ugly black box or whatever. These things are nice. You will add some really high-end industrial design / Swedish something or other to the to your campsite with this stuff.
Yeah, I studied under a designer in the Swedish whatever movement. It's
the school of Swedish whatever.
That's right. It's a wonderful design aesthetic. It's minimalist and Gaudi and a little bit of what WTF. It's nice.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
But WTF is good because if you walk into a campsite and you saw the Travoka like cooler, you'd be like, "What the hell is that? That's amazing! Look at that thing."
Mm-hmm.
See, that's cool.
It is cool.
Hey, and retailers, you want to get an in-person look at the full range of Travoka products like the flagship Rigel DZ e-cooler or Travoka's Vega 1500 portable power station? That's a mouthful. You can see it at the 360 Adventure Collective Show in Greenville this November. If you can't wait that long, head to Travoka.com to learn more today. All right, guys, it's time for the lightning round.
Lightning round.
First up in the lightning round, last Thursday, Footwear News named Wolverine the 2025 Company of the Year and will be honored as such. They will be honored as such at the Footwear News Achievement Awards in December. Dave, is this the moment Wolverine has been waiting for before finally doing something right with Chaco?
Okay, guys. So I've got. Let me break this down for you. We're going to have our own little our game show here. What company has won the Company of the Year award the most of any companies? And then a follow-up, what outdoor company has won the most?
Well, it's got to be Nike has won the most.
Nike has won the most. Owen, you have an idea for...
I mean, I would have said Nike too, but I don't know. I'll go. This is footwear only, right?
Yeah.
I will go Adidas just for shits.
Okay, you guys. Those are the two brands that have never won the award, which is fantastic.
That's amazing.
They've never won Company of the Year. The company that has won it the most, which is I love, is Steve Madden, because nothing ever went wrong with Steve Madden.
Oh my God!
Authentic would be second.
Authentic brands?
Yeah, would be second. But here I'll just but from an outdoor perspective, Deckers actually has won the award 3 times over the years.
Okay.
And VF has won it twice. Right? So I think they're playing in
all of these winning before Nike is kind of a crock.
It's amazing. Okay. So then here's the question. They've also noted Brand of the Year as separate from Company of the Year. Okay, so can you name what of it in the outdoor world? Who has won Brand of the Year?
I'm gonna go anti-Colin and say Crocs.
Okay,
that's probably a pretty. I would honestly, it would have been my guess. I feel like if we're judging on the other one, hold on, outdoor Brand of the Year.
Yeah, outdoor, just Brand of the Year, but it happens to be an outdoor, and we talk about them all the time. Or any of these we talk about a lot. You've got multiple to choose from.
Merrell.
Of course, Merrell. Of course, yeah. Merrell's won it twice, right? And HOKA has won it twice, and Birkenstock has won it twice, and Vans has won it twice, right?
All right,
so
well,
there you go,
Wolverine. We're happy for you over here, I guess, for this.
And we'll leave with the last one.
You have one more. I'm sorry.
I got one more. Shoe of the Year. This is always a big one. The Shoe of the Year. Super style conscious about that. First, one outdoor shoe has ever won this award, and it's all of its time that it's been around. And to be fair, the awards really started as a lifestyle style footwear. Back then the industry was really about kind of flats and heels and dress shoes, and it took a long time for outdoor and sneaker brands to start to make headway in this world. But only one quote unquote outdoor shoe has ever won Shoe of the Year.
Jungle Mock?
Jungle Mock.
It's Crocs, Colin. It's Crocs.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, I thought, yeah. Oh, Jay, take a picture.
All right,
I agree. I'm like, that's
right. That's right. That's right. So,
all right, we'll get out of here.
There you go.
Yeah. Good for you, Wolverine. Next up, last week, Lululemon dropped their new apparel collection featuring all 32 NFL teams. They include logoed versions of some of their core styles with those NFL logos on them. Owen, would Lulu have done this if Chip Wilson was in charge?
Oh, no fucking way. No, just no. We were talking about this on our production meeting, and it was I think it was Stacy, right, with
Stacy Klein,
with our wonderful PR agency that said, "Is this the Taylor Swift influence?" And I'm like, oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think that there is some of that here, and just sort of how the NFL has sort of grown beyond its core demographic.
All right, last lightning round story. Last week, bicycle retailer reported that a Washington mountain biker has sued Specialized after a known defective issue with one of their e-bikes led to an unplanned acceleration where the bike crashed, leaving them with 7 broken ribs. Dave, is this the most egregious case of a piece of outdoor gear trying to kill an outdoor enthusiast? This has to be somehow like AI related, right?
To me, this is more like one of the most expected cases of a gear. It's almost like, the person trying to pet the bison. Like, really, it's a motor and you're going downhill. Things are going to happen, let me tell you. And, oh my gosh, that's funny.
It is it is a known defect of that model, and the poor guy definitely started the rear wheel started accelerating, and he wrecked, cracking 7 ribs. The guy thought he had internal injuries, but rough times up there for Specialized.
Well, as one who has been attacked by an e-bike before, he got off lightly.
Gotta go analog, guys. Gotta get off the e-sauce.
That's right.
All right, 2026 Outdoor Trade Show Watch. We're back on that corner. So per a press release last week, Outdoor Retailer announced they have completed the roster for what they're calling their Leadership Village. Like Sonny Strower and Lindsay Hubley told Owen and I when the news broke about the changes coming to the show, OR has created an advisory board of sorts called the Leadership Village, and the full roster now includes Chris Nance of Cotopaxi, Stephen Reginald, founder of Gear Junkie, Tyree Moore, founder of Soul Track Outdoors, Xavier Abdullah of Minneapolis Climbing Coach, Becky Phillip Kranig, owner of Bear Cub Outfitters, and Chris Goddard, owner of PR firm CGPR. They joined the previously announced members of the Leadership Village, who were Sonny Strower, Paul Gagne, Dana Caraway, Peter Sachs, and Sasha DeJulian. Additionally, OR announced a partnership with Founded Outdoors and Lloyd Vogel and Garage Grown Gear to bring 50 to 100, quote, small and medium-sized retail-ready brands to the show. So, Owen, my knee-jerk reaction to this press release was coming on the heels of the OIA doubling down with Diversified and Switchback, is that we're sort of getting the kitchen sink from Emerald and OR. What were your thoughts reading this release?
I mean, to me, the Founded Outdoors piece was much more consequential than the Village of Villagers. In that, as we talked about, OR really needs to get brands back to the show, right? And the OIA was probably the most direct way to get there. Obviously, the Switchback folks have kind of cut them off at the pass there. So they needed another group, I think, that could bring a whole bunch of brands all at once. And the Founded Outdoors Garage Grown Gear people have that, right? I think Founded Outdoors is like 200, 300 founders as part of their group. So this makes a ton of sense to me. And we talked about this even last week in terms of the fact that if you can be the place where new brands show up, that is one of the key differentiators here. So, kudos to the gang. I think it's great. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, obviously this gives them access to those brands, but what are they going to do to make it better for those brands? Are they going to have scholarships, et cetera, et cetera? But makes perfect sense from where I sit.
And last bit of trade show news is that the classic European outdoor trade show ISPO is moving from Munich to Amsterdam in 2026. The show will now be a joint venture between Messe München and Raccoon Media Group. Per Harold Kirschlager, hope I didn't mess up your name there, Harold. Harold is ISPO's executive director of global strategy and development. He said, quote, changing the venue timing and structure sends a clear signal ISPO is evolving. The new strategy embodies that change. I mean, Dave, these moves by any of these shows, be it OR or ISPO or whoever, I mean, are we just rearranging chairs in the Titanic here?
That's probably a good description. Look, I just, yes, it's true. But man, moving from Munich to Amsterdam is from over here is inconsequential as that may seem. That's still a big deal. Like, ISPO and Munich have been so connected for so long that just feels like when Outdoor Retailer moved from Salt Lake to Denver, back to Salt Lake, and back to Denver. Just
back to Minnesota. Thank you.
To Minnesota. That's what I mean. Just but yeah. So that's just kind of the kind of symbolism of it for sure. I mean, Amsterdam's a great place to have a show, right? For sure, from a just kind of a centrally located. But yeah, I don't see how it's going to change anything or the fortunes of ISPO. You know.
I mean, Owen, you were at ISPO last year. Does this move make you feel like there's any of these issues that you observed will be addressed?
The timing was definitely problematic. I mean, it was basically it started the Monday after. It started on Cyber Monday last year, right? So it just, from a retailer perspective, just brutal, right? In terms of being able to carve out time to go. But in my mind, I'm not sure they moved in the right direction. So they moved from early December into early November, chasing the ever popular ordering window. Okay. And I would have moved the other way. I would have moved it to January, because moving it to November, I mean, it's definitely not going to bring back the snow brands. That's, they didn't love December. They're going to hate November. And they were the core of the old ISPO winter show. So that's gone. Yes, you have it more into a better, less busy window and into the quote unquote ordering window. But as we've talked about on this show a lot, I just don't think these large national, international shows are about ordering. They're about coming together. They're about getting together. And it's just so much easier to do that in January than it is in November.
Yeah, and like you mentioned in our outline, GOA is the week before.
Yeah.
We know now the running event switchback will be a week or two after. Just from a U.S. brand perspective, that could complicate things as well if you want to go to ISPO. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of these moves, like I said, are even back to the OR front and all the shows. It's a lot of let's try to throw things at the wall and see what's going to stick. And so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what shakes out and where we are with this in the coming years.
It is easier to get to Amsterdam. I'll give them that, and they are investing some big dollars in retailer scholarships, content, et cetera. So, I'm certainly willing to wait and see how it comes out. But yeah, I mean, as with all these trade shows, it's a tough environment right now.
It's time for a party shot.
All right, guys, it's time for the parting shot presented by Garage Grown Gear. Is that a conflict? We just talked about them in the OR press release.
I don't know.
Do we have a conflict here?
Maybe.
Lloyd, you're causing problems. All right. Okay, so a couple weeks ago during our buy sell episode, we bought and sold outdoor industry brands and trends like we would buy stock. Eoin sold Patagonia based on what he believes is a severe drop-off and what has made the shining example of what an outdoor brand could be and the reasons why they are so often held aloft as the de facto leading brand of the outdoor industry. That has fallen off quite a bit. All right, and after that episode came out, we have received the following listener comment, and the comment is titled Patagonia's Biggest Haters, referring to us here at The Rock Fight. The comment is, they truly hate on this brand whenever they can. This most recent pod showed that again, trying so hard to be contrarian to the industry's leading brand. They give 100% of their profits, he's talking about Patagonia here, not The Rock Fight, to the outdoors and other enviro-social causes. They clearly don't have insider knowledge on Patagonia because they'd be hyped about the new PAL Slayer kit or upcoming drops. Had to unsubscribe because the hateration was getting old. Now, listen, I'm fine I think we should have haters. I'm glad we have haters. So thanks for being a hater, just generally speaking about the pod. But we wanted to bring this up because, I mean, Eoin, I'm curious, you're the one who sold Patagonia. What are your thoughts on this person who obviously doesn't work for Patagonia?
Oh, not at all. They do not work for Patagonia. No. So, first of all, as I said at the time, this comes from a place of love, not from a place of hate. I love Patagonia. I love the brand. I love what has been built and what it stands for. And quite frankly, because of that, I expect more from Patagonia, right? I'm not calling out North Face for not doing a whole lot, right? Because that that hasn't historically been their shtick, right? It has been for Patagonia. Patagonia makes a big deal of, we sold ourselves to the earth, et cetera, whatever. That's why I expect them to stand up, and that's why we're not seeing that. We're not seeing at the time when the voices are needed most. We're not hearing them, and that's my thing. But then for them to turn around and say, "Oh, they know nothing about what's going on with Patagonia because they're not hyped about the PAL Slayer kit." Are you fucking kidding me? Excuse me. The PAL Slayer kit, for those that don't know, is a $800 Gore-Tex shell and a $650 bib. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not excited about that. That is not going to revolutionize the world for anybody. That is not what true. I mean, is it innovative? It may be. It's using a new Gore-Tex fabric, but come on, guys. If that.
So it'll keep you as dry as the old Gore-Tex fabrics, probably.
But it isn't going to kill the environment, apparently. So yeah, guys, come on. We need more true product that's going to reach mass appeal, and also and by the way, me knocking Patagonia in terms of newness and innovation, I'm really reflecting what I'm hearing from retailers, right? This is not just Eoin here in a bubble, not knowing what the hell's going on with Patagonia. This is what I'm hearing from retailers, that they're not getting enough in terms of new and exciting stuff to sell to their customers. So take that
not
for
to
what
just
you
pump
will.
our own tires. Yeah, not to just pump our own tires here. You're talking to three people who are very well informed in this industry, worked in it a long time, and talked to a lot of people. So if we're saying it on the show, we're not just throwing things out there because it's like, hey, here's a good idea. Let's see what happens. There's a lot of consensus behind the scenes on a lot of things that we're saying, or at least what things that we want to discuss. So it's just another, I agree obviously with Eoin on this. I think Patagonia should be speaking up more because they have been the ones who speak up in the past, and it feels very, very quiet coming out of Ventura, California these days.
It's not just Ventura, though. This is a critique of the entire industry itself. They just happen to be typically our standard bearer here.
That's it.
Right? I mean, and we're not the only ones talking about this, right?
That is
the
the right way to describe
for
this.
leadership, and nobody's stepping up, and it's a tough environment. I mean, look. Not faulting any, I get it, right? And like other people are also noticing the fact that we do have a lack of corporate resistance to what's going on. And so I don't think it's unique to Patagonia in any way. Like we said, we just have a different expectation of what they stand for. And I think that Yvonne should have signed his email to us. It would have been just a little bit more transparent, but that's okay. I get it. He doesn't have to.
We all know he's a big rock fan.
That's
hey,
right.
If you're a publicly traded company in the current environment, you got to worry about shareholders and stakeholders and your stock price. I totally get it. That's not the case here. This is a privately held company where supposedly the earth is the shareholder. And if the earth is voting, it's going to say, we need to change, that we are under attack right now. So yeah, that's just.
I mean, as an activist investor might be the way to describe that.
I think it proves the point too, though. Like people love the brands in the space, and people like no matter what you say, obviously this person loves what Patagonia stand for and doesn't want us bagging on them. I get that. I think we're doing the right thing, but I also understand that hey, this brand means a lot to you. So, but people still need to be held accountable.
And if you dig the Pow Slayer, more power to you because the name rules.
I hope you got a pro deal.
No doubt.
Last thing before we sign off, RIP Rod Johnson, owner of Minnesota's Midwest Mountaineering, that now closed Midwest Mountaineering, who passed away last week. Just want to send our condolences to Rod's friends and family, and thank you for everything you did for the outdoor scene in Minneapolis. All right, that's the show. We want your emails and your comments. Send them to myrockfight@gmail.com. The Rock Fight's a production of Rockfight LLC. Today's episode produced by Bracken Dave. Art direction provided by Sarah Gensert. For Eoin Comerford, I'm Colin True. Thank you for listening. And like always, he's here to take us out. Krista Makes with the Rock Fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock fight.